Hey YouTubers, it's Tom Macy. Hello to all 7 of my subscribers. I'm glad you're tuning in. Last year, or the year before, I made this homemade gasifier stove. It's similar to like a Bush Buddy or a Solo. And I got it lit, but I never actually showed anybody how to use it. So thought I'd do a video today and boil some water on it. As you can see, I have used it a little bit. Not much, but I have gotten a chance to use it. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to boil water in this Stanley, I think it's the Mountain series. It's a 24-ounce stainless steel pot. It comes with a plastic cup that drops inside of it. But one of the things I noticed was that this actually fits right inside that pot. So actually it makes a really nice cook kit because it's nice and small, compact. You could put those together and save yourself a little room. But if you recall, I made this out of a 1-pint paint can with a larger soup can inside of it. On the top is made of a chunk chicken can or tuna you could use. This sets right up on top. I cut the hole out with just a Dremel so that I can feed wood in while it's cooking. And then I also put some screws on the side just to kind of hold the inner liner to the outer liner so it doesn't move around a lot. So compact, puts away. This goes right over the top. Doesn't take up any room at all. And what I'm going to do now is fill it up and get started some fire. All right, so I stuffed it with wood. And from some of the videos I saw, you want to get everything in there kind of vertically. And I've got a fire starter that I made up. I can't even remember what's in it, but we're going to go ahead and start it. It'll burn from the top down. And one of the things that I've learned is you keep the wood below the gasifier ports on the inside, you'll create less to no smoke at all. So keep that in mind when you're feeding it twigs, that you're kind of managing that so that you can reduce the amount of ash and smoke that it's creating. So we're going to go ahead and light this up. It's a windy day here. So this is a coffee filter. It looks like I filled it with some fire starter. So we'll see if we get a fire going or not. It's not looking too good. We'll get some burning here. Looks like now we got some fire. So we're going to go ahead and let that start up, and I'll get back to you when we get a good fire going. So we got a good fire started here. Again, it's going to burn from the top down. And that fire starter I use it now that I remember is that fire starting material. It looks like this. This is actually it right here. It's a powder or granules. And I put that inside of a coffee filter and twist it up. And I carry that with me for starting fires, especially when I'm looking at bonfires. But this is going to take a little bit of time to burn down. So I want to make sure that when we're doing this, I've got the gasifier gasifying. So I will be right back. All right, well, here we are. It hasn't been too long, maybe 5-10 minutes, but as you can see, the gasifier system is working. We can see all the flames coming through the ports that I have drilled out. Not all of them, but you could still have quite a bit of fuel sitting on top. So it's working really well. If I take a step back, you can see that there's almost no smoke coming out of this. And so I'm going to go ahead and start the boil and see how that goes. If we go and look down, you can see there's quite a bit of heat down in the bottom there. I do have it on this couple of pieces of wood. It may not be quite that even. That's why we're not seeing flames coming out. But I'm going to go ahead and put the top on it. And then I'm going to try to maybe level it out a little bit so I can get a more even heat from the backside there. Then I'm going to go ahead and put a timer on it and see how well we do on boiling. About that's a 16 ounce mark, so we're probably looking at 14 ounces All right, see you soon. All right, well, I've got the water on. Just set it on, so I'm going to go ahead and set my timer and get that going. You can see inside there we've got quite a bit of heat. We don't have the flame, but we absolutely have the heat. So let me get this timer set. And I can find it. All right, timer's going. So let's see how it goes. I'm going to go ahead and keep feeding this fire. I did put a little something behind it to level it out, but I'm certainly not too worried about it generating heat, but we're going to go ahead and feed it some fresh wood. It is a little shaky, I have to tell you. I was kind of surprised. I think I'm going to make a couple of cross arms to go on the top. I like this particular cup because it's a little bit wider than the Stanley Adventure series. So it is more stable in most cases, which is what, I'm looking for. And, we'll see that smoke kind of dissipate here in a minute. I think you're actually seeing it happen right now as the gasifier takes place. But we'll keep boiling this, and I'll let you know what the time ends up being. All right, folks. Well, we had a little incident. I happened to start the little piece of wood on fire that it was resting on. So learned my lesson, put some bricks under there, and I'm going to go ahead now and try to get this thing boiling again. So just a little delay. Lesson learned. Here goes the water. All right. We are starting. New cold water. So as you can see, the wood is burning. It's pretty clean. It's a little bit of smoke, but I've got some kind of pieces that are maybe a little bit too big to be feeding this. I cut up a piece of a cedar, scraps from a cedar deck. So it's nice and dry. But you can see that it is kind of lapping out. So again, a little tipsy. I'm going to make some crossbars for the top so that you can put anything on it. But so far, I'm really happy with it. I think it's burning well, and again, pretty much no smoke. I mean, a little bit, but nothing that you would expect from a open campfire or something like that. And take a look inside. Actually, it looks like we already got some bubbles started, so we'll give it another few minutes. We are only at a minute and 22 seconds, so we'll see. I'm expecting this to take 3 to 5 minutes maybe. The nice thing about this design is it keeps the flame and the heat focused to the center, so once you have that going, you're pretty good on making sure that the fire is going to be right where you need it. To give you a look inside here, as you can see, it looks like most of the flames are actually coming out of the ports. So it's doing exactly what we would expect it to do. I already see steam coming off the top, and it really looks like it's starting to get ready to boil here. So let's keep it a couple more minutes. Give it a little bit more fuel. So one thing is, you want to keep feeding this. Again, twigs, are the best. Probably, want to keep them all about the same height if you can. Thickness. They'll burn a little bit more evenly. But again, even though I don't see any flame coming up, there's plenty of heat underneath there. And we're really getting close to a boil here. So, again, a few more twigs. You can see that it's really working well. And for efficiency, I'm not sure you could beat this if you want to take it into the field and cook something with kind of as a minimalist. There's always fuel to burn when you're out. I see a few bubbles coming up now. but we're not quite at a rolling boil, so we'll wait till we get to that royal boiling or boil, and give you a good hard time as to what it took. One of the nice things about these is how quickly really everything burns down to ash. So, once this thing burns out, there's really nothing left. So I got maybe a wetter piece of wood in there. The amount of smoke, you can see how windy it is here today. But I would say right now we're at really hot water, not quite a boil. Give it a little oxygen. Let's see, that flame's coming up again. Even my pot's not really getting that sooty. It's never been on a open fire before, so it's actually not too bad. Kind of walk around a little bit, you can see it's really just where the where I've got that little feeding area is where I'm getting the most soot. But if you kind of look around the sides, it's actually staying quite clean. So I could see bubbles starting to come up. Still waiting for that kind of hard boil, but I think we're really, for sure, getting started there. And again, this is about 14 ounces of water, so it's probably as much as you would use to make a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. Maybe even, you wouldn't even use probably this much for an oatmeal or something like that. But again, if you're in the woods, you don't want to carry any fuel with you, kind of save the weight and just use what you have available to you. This is a great way to go. I think the 1 pint empty paint can probably cost me $3. And again, I got a chunk chicken can and then a soup can. So probably altogether, I'd be surprised if I have $10 in this whole kit in just a little bit of time. Pretty simple. Cut the holes out, drill the holes out, and you're up and running. So I can see now we're really getting some bubbles coming up now. So I'm saying we're just a minute or so away from a good solid rolling boil. We're at 7 minutes right now. So of course, can't be in a hurry for this. But that's what you're doing outside, is just kind of chilling and enjoying the day. So that wind is really blowing, but you can see we really got that gasifier working well now. It's really all the flame is coming out of the gasifier ports. You really don't see any wood burning down there as much as we're just reburning what's down there. I'll put one more chunk of wood in just to give it a little bit fresh fuel. Got plenty of steam coming off the pot. And I'm really happy with it. I think for $10, you can't go wrong, even if you just get a few uses out of it, maybe one season out of it, you decide that you like going this way, then you can go and step up and, buy up something either, a Tom Shoe or Luxada from AliExpress, Amazon, or really buy up into Bush Bot, or Bush Buddy rather, or a Solo stove. So I think that's hot enough for me to go ahead and make a cup of tea. I am going to sign off, but thanks for watching, and give me a thumbs up if you like it, and join my subscribe. I need more than 7 to be a YouTube sensation. Thanks, everybody. Hey, sorry I stepped away before getting to our rolling boil. So it is a rolling boil right now, and I stopped the clock at about 8.5 minutes. So I'm going to tell you it took about 10 minutes. I've already kind of cleaned up and put everything away, but fed a little bit more fuel in there just to make sure I got to that rolling boil. So if you could see that, it's rolling. Probably took about 10 minutes. If I spent a little bit more time tending the fire and keeping it fueled better, I'm guessing you could have got a rolling boil in 7 to 8 minutes, as well as putting a lid on. I didn't put a lid on. So, we lose a lot of heat doing that as well. So let's say 6 to 7 minutes with a lid on, feeding the fire, and paying better attention. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Talk to you next time.